It is that time of year again where the NBA free agency has dawned upon us and shit went down. The NBA salary cap has completely skyrocketed this year and it seemed like everybody was getting paid. Today I want to run through the most important signings of the offseason so far, so forgive me if I missed a couple of those less relevant ones. With that being said, I want to start off with the most crucial, biggest decision made so far. And in case you've been living under a rock, you know I'm talking about Timothy Mozgov as the new LA Laker, baby. With all jokes aside, I know everybody is talking about Kevin Durant deciding to be a new member of the Golden State Warriors is one of the biggest offseason moves maybe in history. And if you thought people picked the Warriors on 2K now, boy, just wait. Many people call this move cowardly and downright the weakest move by a superstar. And don't even try to tell Stephen A. Smith that this was the same thing when LeBron left Cleveland, because he will lose his shit.
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
Now that the Warriors have a Western Conference All-Star lineup, they will try to get their redemption against LeBron James and the rest of the Cavaliers. Speaking of the Cavaliers, they didn't do much in the offseason so far except lose Matthew Dellavedova to the Bucks for a 4-year, $38 million deal and Timothy Mozgov to the Lakers, as I mentioned earlier. But Richard Jefferson did see the cap space going up, so he decided to sign another deal with the Cavs for 2 years. There was actually a rumor going around about Dwayne Wade perhaps signing with the Cavaliers, but that quickly was squashed when he announced that he was going back to Chicago, where he was from. Now, with Dwayne Wade home in Chicago and LeBron James returning to Cleveland, I have heard numerous sources letting me know that Chris Bosh is now asking for a trade to go back home as well. Back to Dwayne Wade and the Bulls, this one is a real head scratcher for me, honestly. After trading away Derrick Rose and letting Joakim Noah and Gasol walk, everybody thought they were going to go through some type of rebuilding process. But nope, that's not the case. They picked up Dwayne Wade for a 2-year, $58 million deal and picked up Rondo as well for a 2-year, $28 million contract. This is what their lineup looks like going into next season, and it kind of looks like a playoff team to me. Right? Or am I just stupid? Dwayne Wade's decision still has Hassan Whiteside and the rest of the city of Miami heartbroken. The reason behind his choice is still a little fuzzy, but rumor has it Dwayne Wade felt disrespected by the Heat organization and eventually lost trust in them. Moving on to another Eastern Conference team, and that is the great New York Knicks. And honestly, Phil Jackson was not messing around this offseason. They made a lot of great moves, including trading for D Rose like we all know, picking up Joakim Noah for a 4-year, $72 million deal, and they landed Courtney Lee as well for 4 years, $50 million. They even had the balls to go after Kevin Durant, and even though they didn't land him, they still have a really decent starting lineup. Knicks fans finally have a team they could feel at least a little bit excited about going in the future. And who knows, Derrick Rose is on a contract here, so don't be surprised if he just balls out this season. Now, a team that I feel like everybody's overlooking is the Indiana Pacers. This is definitely my dark horse team, and they have an awesome starting five. Larry Bird is rubbing his hands like Birdman after assembling this team. They stole Al Jefferson from the Hornets for 3 years worth $30 million. They landed a huge 3-way trade to acquire Jeff Teague, and they also picked up Thaddeus Young from the Nets. Of course, they still have a superstar in Paul George and a sidekick in Monte Ellis as well. I honestly do see this team making some noise in East while challenging the Cavs and Raptors for that #1 spot. Speaking of the Raptors, they finally locked up DeMar DeRozan to a long-term deal. And that shit did not come cheap. They signed a contract worth 5-year, $139 million.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Wrapping up the Eastern Conference, Dwight Howard left the Rockets to everybody's surprise. Yeah, just kidding. Everybody saw that coming. He also wanted to go home, so he joined the Hawks for a 3-year deal worth $70.5 million. Which means their current center, Al Horford, had to leave, so he decided to join the Celtics for a 4-year deal worth $113 million. Moving along to the Western Conference, and the Dallas Mavericks had a really rough start to free agency. It seemed like nobody really wanted to come. So Mark Cuban started lacing up his sneakers to start running the point guard. Then a miracle happened. Ironically, Kevin Durant signing with the Warriors was the best thing to happen to Dallas, because they got Andrew Bogut out of it from a trade, and they signed Harrison Barnes to a max deal. The Mavs, in my opinion, are slightly better than they were last year. Now, Harrison Barnes is the highest paid Mavericks in history. The Mavs did lose Chandler Parsons in the process, But as a Mavs fan, I say who cares? Memphis, he's y'all's problem now. Besides Chandler Parsons' overpaid contract, Memphis threw all their money at Mike Conley. He is now the richest contract in the history of the NBA with a 5-year deal worth $153 million. No, I didn't stutter, $153 million. This dude makes more money in a week than I probably will in my entire life. Damn, that's depressing. Moving along before I start crying, the Sacramento Kings added Aaron Aflalo and Matt Barnes. Yeah, Matt Barnes and DeMarcus Cousins on the same team. You better bust out that piggy bank because this team is going to get a lot of technical fouls. Of course, the Spurs got a top free agent again this year, and it was Pau Gasol. While wrapping up this video, Tim Duncan just announced his retirement, and holy shit, that's big news. It seems like Pau Gasol is taking over Timmy's new vacant spot now. Let's be honest, guys, as much as I hate to say it, it definitely does look like we're going to see a finals rematch this upcoming season. The Warriors are just too stacked this season, and I don't see anybody beating the Cavs in the East. Just give me a promise and wake me up when the finals start. And there y'all have it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, I literally just made a Twitter account for this channel, and I'm following back the first 100 followers I get. Link in the description, of course. And until next time, peace.